In 3, 2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I think I'm live, kind of providing guidance about audio. I went live a little bit early there. But welcome and hello for anybody who is in friends, family world out there joining us on YouTube Live to see our presentation of our incredible campers' work for this camp. I'm going to throw everybody into a gallery view here. And if you want to say hello or give a shout out to anybody out there, you feel free to jump in there and say hi to whomever, right? And turn your camera on if you'd like to be seen and heard. And if not, that's okay too. So we had a remarkable first camp here. Yeah. Hey guys.
My camera's glitched.
Here we are. Sweet.
My camera's glitched.
Nice. So we had about 15 campers in our camp here, and all of them are with us, and we're super happy for a really awesome camp. And you guys did a phenomenal job. We learned 2D design, vector-based graphics, big words that can drive not only things like vinyl cutters, but also laser cutters. And we also further reinforced how once you can laser cut something on balsa wood or on acrylic, that we can take that very same thing that we make and we can take it down to a giant laser downstairs, and we could make this out of metal, stainless steel, mild steel, aluminum. Pretty fascinating. So we know that the things that we learn inside of these platforms give us a platform to jump off of and make remarkable things. Everybody knows when we 3D print something, we can 3D print something that's, 2 inches tall, right? Or that same object, we could say, I like how it turned out. Let's blow it up and print multiple components and make it 2 feet tall. Or maybe if we have access to the right equipment, we can make it 20 feet tall. And this is where we see technology like 3D printing beginning to scale to build houses, if not on Earth, then maybe someday on Mars. So we're exploring really remarkable possibilities and the frontiers ahead of us, which are incredibly exciting. And working to make sure that we and that you, our participants in the camps, have your hands on the wheel as we drive into this remarkable accelerating future that is ahead of us. So that not only can you direct the way we're going, but so that you remember it's important to have your hands on the wheel, even if, and maybe especially if, it's a self-driving car. It feels like so many things around us are getting automated, but the fact is, there are opportunities for us to learn new skills and to drive forward outcomes at scale. So we can benefit from these things like co-working with robotics that can help us, and then we can activate them to create productivity and jobs and an incredible new frontier. So without further ado, I want to welcome you and thank some of our sponsors like Best Buy and Toyota, who helped to contribute to our mobile and virtual STEM in 2019 and 2020. It's the hardware we received through their generous grants that I'm speaking to you over right now. They contributed this, the Maker Vault Studios, to our Maker Vault here in Huntington. You can go to rcbi.org to find out more about our programs, workshops, camps like these. We have 2 more camps available, and we have scholarships provided through generous annual support from Suddenlink. So Suddenlink has been so good to us. They came and gave us our manufacturing tour about tech jobs on Wednesday. So these are jobs in and around the telecommunications industry, which is growing in new and fantastic ways, overcoming challenges that before the pandemic, those might have been a 10-year business plan, but all of a sudden they became 10-month accelerated business plans. Everything changed. We built productivity, we built some muscle, right? And we're going to move forward into a remarkable frontier as we emerge from the pandemic. Suddenly provided some hats, water bottles. Thank you, Suddenlink. These will be handy. Oh, they got one of my favorite things in here. I'm not going to believe this. So sure, we get some sanitizer. I love some sanitizer in my world. We get a pen, right? This is the coolest thing. I want you to see this. This sticks on the back of your phone. My wife stole mine from my goodie bag I got last year. You see this? And what's cool is it can hold a credit card inside of it. But when you're ready to stick right on the back of your phone. Look how low profile it is. And when you're ready to watch something on your phone, did you see that? That sucker pops out. You can sit there and rest your phone. You can grab this guy like this and keep from dropping your phone. I absolutely love these. I think they're super creative. They're a great employment of the whole classic snap bracelet idea. I think it's just so creative. It inspires the imagination. So you guys are all going to get one of these fantastic goodie bags from Suddenlink, who provided our manufacturer tour. Everybody is also going to receive a camp t-shirt like this t-shirt. Supplies are limited, so we have some other cool t-shirts from our maker camps that we're going to provide to you. This camp was kind of for Huntington, although we know we have kids from all across the state, as far flung as Morgantown and other locations around the state. And we see our generous sponsors there, including Suddenlink, right? And most importantly, we have to thank Nuts, Bolts, and Thingamajigs. You see their logo here. You see their logo on the shirts. And they are our prime driver, the prime camp sponsor. Just minutes ago, our campers were finishing up a post-camp survey. If you haven't finished that, you go ahead. And what we do is survey them at the beginning of the camp, and then we survey at the end of the camp, and we make sure that we're accomplishing important objectives, teaching about entrepreneurship, how to produce products, how to mass manufacture things, exposure to careers from welding to computer-controlled machining. And what's fun is that this stuff is not ambiguous. It's exactly what we do when we make little objects just like these with our resin printers, with our 3D printers. We can take what we made and go directly down and make them out of metal or steel, right? Look at this. The fun part of this is, one, everybody's going to get one of these rooks, because in our camp, we worked with one of our Maker Vault members, David, to help him know how to resin print some of his objects, right? Things that he had made previously with traditional 3D printing. He came into our camp as a guest, and we were able to illustrate that for everybody. And I thought, well, what good's an illustration? I want to include something custom that we made for you. The great part is that we have affordable memberships here at the Maker Vault at $25 a month. Or if you need a little bit of help, we have an assisted membership at $40 per month. You can access all our STEM kits, computers, 3D printers, and some of our help through those programs. So don't hesitate to go to rcbi.org and find out more about our programs. 2 events are coming up. We've got additional camps that are coming over coming weeks. You can find that in the Maker section at rcbi.org. And on July 3rd, I'm going to be at Heritage Farm and Museum, etching custom laser cuts on baseball bats that the young people are going to make kind of in the old time fashion, that see the baseball bats turned, and they'll bring them over and they'll be able to custom laser etch their names on it. Heritage Farm and Museum, here just on the outskirts of Huntington, West Virginia, is a remarkable treasure that seeks to instill in the coming generation an understanding of the inventiveness that it took to settle the Appalachian region, as well as connect the past to the present and future. You'll find a wind tower that is driven by the wind and runs a water pump, just like you'd find on a farm out west. On that wind tower are solar panels that run that pump when the sun's shining. So we want to have a good blend of old and new. We might have a baseball bat turned on a foot-powered lathe, and then bring it over and laser etch it with a piece of advanced equipment. I hope to see you guys there at the Summer Celebration Heritage Farm and Museum on July the 3rd. Pretty exciting stuff. All right. Does anybody have any input, questions, anything critical that I'm missing here before I move into our presentation of certificates and your projects?
I think Cohen needs let into the meeting.
I think I did that. Yeah. I also see Tyler sitting around here, so I'm going to make him a co-host and he can help us with that. Here we go. Good. Thank you.
I'll help.
All right, without further ado, I'm going to kind of scroll through our incredible projects here. And it looks like our first one here is Isaiah. Bear in mind, Isaiah, you're going to get one of our Maker Rooks here to illustrate what resin printing is and how it works. I got to kind of hide my face before it'll focus on it. Everybody's going to get one of those, and I want to emphasize one point. This was printed on a less than $300 printer. So if you see that detail, I want you to know that the ability to access that kind of detail is affordable and accessible. And if you want to test drive one of these machines before you talk mom and dad into buying it for Christmas or whatever the case may be, I highly suggest it. There's a lot you need to know. We have them right here in our Maker Vault, and we're pretty good at using them and helping our members use them. So look at it as an opportunity to test drive before you buy. Isaiah, great job, buddy. I'll tell you what, you powered through. We've got complex thinking accolades. You're a quick learner. That's an important thing. And Isaiah made this remarkable keychain. Spoiler alert, sorry, this one was for dad. Look at that. Nice. So Isaiah designed this completely from scratch in the same manner that he designed this, a remarkable acrylic piece. Totally from scratch. Look at that. And everybody is going to get one of these colored light pucks that you can put your project down into so that it will illuminate at home. You've seen these in the stores. I thought, how cool would it be for us to make them entirely custom? Great job, Isaiah. I love it. Absolutely. All right. So our next one is Lily. Great job, Lily. It's been a pleasure having you in camps. Very artistic. Tinkercad Queen. I don't know what that means, except to say maybe we got a little fancy with our diamonds and our hearts, because look at this. Another one. This is for mom, right? Is that's married to you? And we had this beautiful little diamond to stick on there as well. Look at that. That turned out very well, right? I totally love it. It's beautiful. Very well done, not Mary. Good job, Lily. I love it. Lily also made this custom. Here comes Cohen again. This custom acrylic cut. You see that, Colin? He's a dancing there. Yeah, the dab is so old. This is the new thing. Just want you to know. Entirely custom 2D design that could easily be cut, etched, or scored on metal in the same way that it was made on acrylic. Great job, Lily. It's been a great pleasure having you in the camp. I noticed too that you dug through one of our maze challenges in Drag and Drop Vex Robotics, and I'm going to include our extra Hello keychain as a bonus to you. All right, we got Silas next here. Silas, what a great joy it has been to have you in the camps. Great questions, awesome time management skills, Gravit expert and quick learner. And look at some of this stuff. Silas's keychain. That guy. Totally love it. I have to get into an argument with my camera about focusing sometimes. So for those of you who are wondering what's going on right now, that's my struggle in life right now. It's like, please focus, camera, please. Look at this. Isn't that off the chain? Just gorgeous. What a great design. I think it's supreme. Totally excellent. Wonderful job. Up next, we have William. Hey. William A. has been a great pleasure. Awesome helper. Tinkercad Pro. Critical thinker. Also great questions. Always. William made his own custom keychain here. Can you believe it? Now, these were made from scratch in a creative design tool that we use here as part of our camps. There's got to be a better way. That's it. We can use the certificate to help us focus. This was designed entirely from scratch. So William used primitive shapes, scaling, and the ability to control the size of elements to produce this object. It is interestingly not all that much of a stretch to take the same tactics and create something like this, which is a functional assembly. Multiple parts trapped together cannot be disassembled because it was never assembled. Its assembly was part and parcel to its creation process. These are the kind of things that we reinforce in terms of learning in the camp and opportunities. And William kind of won this by showing up at our MAPS challenge. So good job, buddy. I appreciate it. Good job. Look at this. Totally custom. That 3D effect of this geometric shape winging through the universe. We used advanced 2D design to create pathed vector drawings that a vinyl cutter or laser could follow. And I'll tell you what, I'm super proud of your work, William A. Wonderful. Hunter is the Grab It master. We love it. Tinkercad Pro, which I concur. That's superb and absolutely appropriate. Great problem solver too. So Hunter came into our camp. He's a veteran. He came in with this Nintendo DS design, and I saw aspects of that echoed in the 3D printing project that he chose to make this keychain. So here's Hunter's keychain. All of these primitive elements, text, and everything is entirely custom. Hunter made that from scratch. Wonderful job. And what I like about it is, too, there's attention to detail in terms of, I understand what kind of forces this object is going to endure in the real world. So Hunter made this nice and thick so that it stays attached to a keychain. And he also is phenomenal at doing these duplications and echoes here in Grab It Designer. Can you believe that guy? Look at that. He's got a custom shape for the cut on the outside of this piece as well. And we absolutely are impressed at your work this year, Hunter. You're coming along, brother. You keep up the great work. Very proud of you. Up next comes Cohen Craddock, who is my IT support here in the camps. Okay. Fantastic helper. You got that accolade as well. Okay. And a creative designer. I agree also that you are a quick learner. However, there's a lot you know already, and one of the things I'm most impressed about with you, Cohen, is that you jump at the opportunity to share knowledge with others and to be helpful. And here's proof that Cohen knows what he's doing and is also really creative. Look at the depth. Isn't that wonderful? I think this would make like a great zipper pull, like for your backpack or lunchbox. Here we go. It also looks good upside down. There we go. And this kind of gym design, Cohen took to heart what we were up to in our maker camp with our design to production philosophy. So our idea was that if we can make one thing, we can make 1,000 things, right? And so the idea is to try to scale a business around it. So we had input on design thinking, lean canvas models, to help try to figure out what customers are thinking, where and how to sell our products. We have another camper in here who's actually scaling a 3D printing business from inside the camp out. Can you believe it? So Gym Incorporated. I think it's a great logo. I think it's a great company name. Cohen, I don't know where I'd be without your help and support. Wonderful job, buddy. Such a pleasure having you in the camp. Up next, we have Thomas. Now, Thomas has a great sense of humor and is also an excellent super fast learner. Thomas was able to share a great deal of knowledge and information from drag and drop coding and programming to robotics, which are another subject that we explored in some depth here in our camp. We actually have several robot giveaways, one of them on rcbi.org right now under the maker section if you're interested in getting an over $500 value VEX IQ Super Kit. To help start your new VEX IQ team, you can go and fill out an application at rcbi.org, and soon we'll be giving away a couple of drones. This is related to Saturday's drone event at the Clay Center. We'll be there this Saturday from 11 to 3 to welcome you and give you an opportunity to fly some of the drones that we've showcased in this camp as well. What haven't we done in this camp, right? So Thomas crushed the maze. We, in fact, also had some discussions about game theory because he told us not only, hey, I finished the maze, but also let me show you how I finished the maze and tell you why it is that I chose that method to get through the maze as quickly as possible. So I wanted to give you a couple of chains to illustrate how we can trap objects together in a single print. These are functional assemblies. These chains happen to be shaped like slugs, right? So you've seen the octopus tentacles, same thing. A functional component with a creative element that is super fun to play with, satisfying, and has great learning built in. Congrats on the maze, Thomas, absolutely. Here's the other thing I love, right? Thomas has this sense of humor. This is his keychain, right, Thomas? Is that you? I love it. I told him, I said, you know what? I don't have any bumper stickers on my car. But if I did have a bumper sticker on my car, it would say bumper sticker. This is hilarious. Love it. Thomas is great with Gravit Designer, which is our 2D design software, completely free on the internet. Mom and dad can create an account and the learning can continue inside Gravit Designer. Gravit Designer can drive our laser cutter. It can drive our snap maker. It can drive our CNC equipment so that you can carve things, you can cut things, you can create stuff out of metal or whatever you can imagine. Right from inside the design software that we're learning here that is accessible and affordable because all the functions that we're using inside of it are entirely free. Great job, Thomas. I'll tell you what, every single year I get supremely inspired by what you all produce. It's been a pleasure having you in the camp. I've got to get your keychain slugs back in place here. All right, Warwick. I'm so supremely elated that you were able to join us. Warwick was with us in person in 2019 at our South Charleston camp. We had a blast. Next year, of course, obviously, we will be back to in-person camps, and it's going to be incredible. And we'll be able to do all this stuff and more in person and connect with each other. So Warwick is a supreme fast learner. He is a super accelerated maker with lots of experience that's growing. He's a veteran of our camps, made this a remarkable keychain, right? There we go. I love it. We actually got to the point of talking about how we didn't lose the inside of that A, because we know if we 3D printed that, that would just come completely apart. So what we did was stencilized it with a little bar in our 3D design space. Yet another way that we're trying to connect what happens in the real world with what we do in the design world. You did a wonderful job. Warwick also made this phenomenal crystalline star type shape here. See that guy? I mean, it's just incredible. So we had different kinds of cuts, different colors of lines that indicated different operations that our laser cutter machine could undertake, okay? And so we did that in order to make sure that we didn't cut out that star, but instead scored that star into a shape. Warwick also showed up when it comes to the maze race, okay? And I want to include to you as an extra little bonus, these vases. Maybe Warwick, you can actually put a tiny rook that is our resin printing example down inside. Oh, so close. Well, with the power of 3D printing, we can print this vase at another scale. Maybe that. There we go. It'll sit right there. It makes a little platform for you to sit something on. Great job, Warwick. I'm so glad you're able to join us in this year's camp. It's been such a pleasure to have you. All right, Joseph. Right? Joseph's right up there with the whole fast learner, has skills in Gravit and Tinkercad, right? Great questions, awesome input. Love it. Critical thinking, recognized. Joseph did something fascinating. It may well be Joseph's Hello keychain that we gave away as a prize to one of our other campers for showing up in the maze race, which I think is super cool. So bear that in mind. Joseph also made this awesome crystalline shape. Again, these are made completely from scratch. We start with a blank canvas, quite literally, and we move our way forward, okay? But I want you to check this out. Joseph was able to understand that we can activate some of the lines strategically inside of our 3D print to be cut out, and was able to produce all these fantastic little star shapes. They get cut out of the piece. And because this kind of work is so remarkably accurate, these tiny stars that were cut out can now be reinserted very carefully back into the model. They change the way that the light is transmitted. Plus, I'm noticing that they make a neat little puzzle for you to figure out while you're on a YouTube live stream. Suspense, right? We got it right there. You see? Okay, spoiler alert. Bloopers, blooper reel. Anyway, I just wanted to recognize Joseph's understanding of the use of positive and negative space. And when we see the end in sight, like the use of that laser cutter, etcher, engraver, we realize we have different kind of tools in our toolkit. We have different language that we can use to write the story of our creative work. Joseph got that right away, brought a lot to our camp. Such a pleasure to have you. Will, this is super fun, man. Will made this awesome keychain, right? Zipper tag. I think a lanyard might be really nice on that guy, okay? Just to tie through there and let that kind of dangle like a tag. Plus you got this great space on the back. You can put a sticker, draw a picture, even paint a tiny portrait, right? Bob Ross style. It'd be really cool. Check this out. This is the neatest thing. William is our Tinkercad pro. William wanted to push the boundaries of what our graphic designer program could perform. And so he brought in an image of our little Among Us fellow. We had to basically engrave or etch because that little character is a photographic image. It is not a path, okay? I'm trying so hard to confuse my camera into focusing. Please, please, please. Well, here's the most fantastic hidden gem about this project. Do you see this shape up here? William actually drew this shape inside of our 3D design space, Tinkercad. He exported a two-dimensional file of this shape, imported it into Graphic Designer, placed it, and we were able to use it to create this rocket ship for this design. So again, when we put pieces of language in, we can start to speak really interesting sentences. When we can make really cool sentences around processes, softwares, or equipment, and we have an understanding of what's possible, then we can tell really powerful stories. You get to a point where you can't really tell when the 2D design left off and it became 3D design, or where you left the laser cutter and started going over to the CNC, or whether you were working in acrylic or going to metal. We're just mashing it all together. Isn't that what the world feels like right now? Things are coursing forward at a remarkable pace right now. And sometimes the intention is, when you're going into the whitewater in your kayak, stick your oar in the water and show it and slow down. But I'll tell you this, that is not an intention I see among the participants in our maker camps. Quite to the contrary, I see our young people putting the paddle in the water and directing their course, understanding, yeah, things are moving quick, so I better keep up. If I can keep up, I can one day be a leader. And, it's obvious too, that William's going to be numbered among them. Great job. Such a pleasure to have you in the camp. Sam got straight 3D with his keychain here. And I want to recognize too his critical and incredible input on our camp, his assistance and discussions. Every time he found something new, like this really cool logo that he discovered inside of the design program we were using and embedded into his custom keychain, he shared with everybody really very quickly exactly where to find that and how to create an outcome like that for themselves. I think this is super dimensional and nifty. It's a great design made up of tons of subsequent, tons of different components. Great job, Sam. It's been a pleasure having you in the camp, sir. He also made this awesome duplicated star. Very cool. Got our little hexagonal shape. Works beautifully. I love it. Sam, great job. It was a pleasure to see you in the camp yet again. And I got to say, showed up on the maze challenge, so I'm going to give you a little extra functional assembly in the form of this RCBI rotating keychain. Great job, pal. I'll see you next year in person, right? Wyatt, look at this. Wyatt's got some cool design action going on here. And I want to thank you for your interaction, for asking questions, and staying connected to us and being so creative. I love this. You know, in a manner similar to how we were making kind of sketchy drawings inside of our design software and then producing images from them. Wyatt said, listen, I want to be creative with this. This hole doesn't have to be round. It can be an oval. These letters don't have to be aligned. I can show my personality through this, and we can capture a lot of the hand of the artist, the creativity, right? We can capture that in technical tools. It doesn't have to be lame or dry just because it was made on a laser cutter, right? Or it was made by a 3D printer. Beautiful organic forms and artistic outcomes are at stake as well. And I have to recognize you for that. So this one ended up being a graphic as well. That's why I was interested in adding. We've got some symbols and logos. And we've got, so from this graphic, what we had to do was we had to do a trace around the outside of it. We used our software to advise how that trace could work. Isn't that great how the acrylic kind of channels the light there? Great job. This is all hand drawn on the outside. So yet another place where we see a lot of hand of the artists kind of come in. Wyatt, I love the interaction. You've been fantastic. It's been such a pleasure to have you in the camp. And I hope you enjoy. So all of this is getting boxed up and mailed out to you today. And last year, 90% of our campers, better than 90% of our campers got theirs next day. So I anticipate you'll have yours on Saturday. Grady, look at this. This is more of a nameplate than a key tag, but I love it nonetheless. It can hang on the door of your room, get set up on the edge of your desk. I think it's really wonderful, creative. And again, don't forget on the back, you got this great palette to do anything you want. If you had a 3D printing pen, you could totally 3D print something on there with your 3D printing pen. You could paint something, put stickers, get creative, have fun. Grady, I'll tell you what, man, I always treasure your interaction, your interactivity, your interjection, the way you keep me on my toes by asking good questions. You help me out by telling me when we have an issue with audio or we're lagging or whatever the case may be. Grady is always the first. He's always the first to jump out there, ask the question that everybody else is thinking but not saying, right? To recognize that issue that everybody else is seeing and saying, wow, what's going on there? Grady's telling me about it. And I love that. Grady, you keep up that engagement and that work, and you will create continued incredible responsibility or opportunities in your work. Very proud. Check it out. I can get that right here too. So. Right? I can't even.
He's evil.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, evil, but also very wonderful. What can you say? Look at that. Great job on the name too. I see how you chose a font and then outlined it, right? We got that outlined with a path that the laser could follow.
Evil snowman.
Evil snowman.
That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say about him.
Evil snowman.
He's cool.
Stand on his head too,
Cool.
right?
This is what an evil person does. Evil.
Evil. Right?
I'm kind of evil's more creepy. And
Great job, buddy. It's been a pleasure having you in the camp. I hope to see you again next year as well. I know you're a veteran. You're here last year. And Emily, I think we might be a little behind on your laser cut, but you kind of know what we have. Everybody has a laser cut like this one. Here's Emily's key tag. And I'll tell you what I saw that I thought was really fantastic. She got creative with the idea of a pendant, right? Just like the flag of the state of Ohio. Like some states have pendant flags like that taper and they have this ribbon cut at the end. I think that's just wonderful. So Emily has a good understanding of positive and negative space as well and ways to employ that to increase our creative output or kind of like make what we create a little more gripping and interesting. Emily, what a joy. I'll tell you what, it's been a pleasure having you in the camp. Obviously, quick learner, great designer, has super skills in 3D and 2D, and yeah, I love it. Fantastic. Well, with that said, would anybody like to say hello or give a shout out to anybody out there? It looks like at this very
Hi
moment, we
there,
have about
Mom. Hi
2
there, Dad.
minutes.
Hey there, Poppy,
Dad.
possibly
I just want-
watching. Hello,
I just want to give a thanks
Papa,
for my
possibly
mom.
watching. I'm coming over to your house today.
I just want to say
Seriously.
thanks to my mom and dad supporting me all the way with this. With
Up,
this.
up, 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 up.
I love it. Fantastic. Well, guys, it looks like we have about 20 minutes left, so I'm going to jump off the live stream now and say goodbye to our YouTube peeps. We're going to spend the last 20 minutes tying up loose ends, making sure, because I know some of you are so excited you're going to come and pick up your objects from us here at RCBI Huntington, so I don't have to ship those or wrap them up in a box. And I'm going to get started. And again, I'm just like, we can't do this stuff without you guys, without the critical support of our sponsors. And thank you, Suddenlink. Thank you, Nuts, Bolts, and Thingamajigs Foundation of the Future Manufacturers of America in partnership with AMEDA. Like, you guys are just awesome, investing in camps like this in states all across the nation. And we are a big part of West Virginia showing up to bring these kind of maker camps to you. So keep in touch with us at rcbi.org. If you want mom and dad to go there, have them sign up for our newsletter, right, which comes out via email. And they will be able to stay ahead on everything we got going on. Follow us on all the social medias, from Twitter to Instagram to Facebook. Awesome. I'll see you campers. You guys hang out. I'm going to end the live stream, and bye-bye.